Welcome to Voices of the Ancestors, where we explore Georgian polyphonic songs
and the women who sing them.
Hello and welcome to Voices of the Ancestors with me, Holly Taylor-Zuntz.
And me, Susan Thompson.
And today I'm speaking to you from my quarantine hotel in Tbilisi, Georgia.
Oh, it's so exciting, Holly. I never thought I'd hear you say that. It's just brilliant. But I'm not in your quarantine hotel. I'm in our lovely new apartment here in Tbilisi. But one of the downsides of a new apartment is sometimes you have unexpected noises. So I think our new neighbours might have been drilling to put up a shelf or something like that when we were doing this recording.
Yeah, I mean, you've just got to laugh, haven't you? I mean, we find the one time when we're all free to record, and then this drill decides to add its voice to our vibrations. But don't worry, it does go away after about 10 minutes, just in time for our guest to tell a lovely story about Katie Melua. Our guest today is Tamara Vepkhvadze, and we wanted to interview her because we were so intrigued by her story. She's a Georgian woman, but it wasn't until she was in London that she started singing Georgian songs, as she would say, in voices or in harmony. And there was a real spontaneous energy to our interview, so we wanted to reflect that in the music that we've used in the episode. So I think pretty much all of the music you're going to hear comes from live recordings, whether that's Tamara and her son Georgi during the recording, or Ensemble Tabuni in a live performance, or something from the Summer Song Festival with Katie Melua.
So, if you're somebody that really likes to know all the detail of something before you listen to a story, it'd be a really good idea to listen to episodes 6 and 7 before this one, because Tamara does reference various characters in her storytelling that you may not have come across. But if you're happy to just go with the flow, then sit back and enjoy the episode.
Well, hello. Well, today I'm here with a drill. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. It's just started. But more importantly, our guest today is Tamara. And I'm going to ask her to say her surname because I think I might trip over it because I would say it like Vepkhvadze, but I think...
Vepkhvadze.
Yeah, you see, I'm not going to get to that one.
You know the meaning?
No.
Vepkhvi means tiger.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I think of you
Tamara,
as a tiger now. That's so lovely.
Yeah.
So I know Tamara from London because she lived in the UK, I don't know how long for.
I think it's already 16 years it will be.
Wow.
No, 15.
15 years, wow. And in London, Tamara came and sang sometimes with Maspindzeli, the London Georgian choir. And I know you sang sometimes with the church choir in London, the Orthodox Georgian church choir. And I also know that you ran, because you're still doing it from Georgia, which is extraordinary, an art studio. What's the name of it?
It's Gonieri Art Studio.
Gonieri, that's so lovely. And that's for children or adults?
It's mostly for children and young people.
Uh-huh.
But we've done some adult projects and I have lots of adult projects in my head. Intergenerational.
So nice. And you also have a son, and I've had the pleasure of singing with your son at the Summer Song Festival. That was in London, and that's where Katie Melua was as well, isn't it?
Yes, it was.
That was so exciting.
Actually, I was listening today to get the mood.
Yeah.
How wonderful it was.
It was.
It was. Oh.
It was extraordinary. And I'm not sure how old Georgi was then.
So that was 2018, so he must be 7.
Yeah, he was quite a little lad. And now he's with you here in Georgia, and he's singing with Amer-Imeri.
Yes. How I take it as a dream come true. Yeah, we will talk about it later, that dream came true.
Yes.
Yes.
And I hope our listeners will get the chance to meet Georgi a little later on as well.
He'll be joining us.
He
later.
will.
Maybe Tamara, you could introduce yourself and tell us how you came to start singing Georgian songs.
Yes. So it's quite a journey. I like to call it a journey, fascinating journey. And I would say it started somewhere around 2009. It was the autumn, and I was invited in one Georgian event in the First Georgian Supplementary School in the United Kingdom, run by amazing Liana Georgiani. And they were holding autumn harvest fairly there. Children making churchelas there and singing and dancing. So on that day I was invited because that time I was newly graduated from University of Queen Mary in London. And I didn't know a lot of Georgians in London really. So I was really happy to be in a Georgian environment and all this. It looked amazing. And then it was this Georgian men choir there. I didn't know anybody, and they were singing, and the leader was beautiful girl, and it was Tamta Turmanidze, who is my beloved friend right now. And yes, she was leading a choir, and on a break time, I just talked to her because Georgian polyphony always amazed me, but I never had chance to sing in voices. I always was solo, and I asked Tamta, do you teach polyphonic singing, Georgian polyphonic singing? And she was, yes. Can you teach me how to sing in voices? And Tamta looked at me with her beautiful eyes, smiled and said, are you a serious person? And that was a funny beginning. So that's how it started. So apparently I was a serious person. And very soon I was invited to a Christmas dinner of Tabuni. Now Tabuni it still is. We are just on a break, I hope. It's a women choir in London. By that time, it was 8 women. And it was led by Tamta. And those women, wonderful women, they were English mostly. So they didn't have any Georgian members, really. So I joined them. And when I saw them singing beautifully, I was a bit, I need to admit, scared. I was like, I can't join this choir. They're too good for me. But, Tamta was very encouraging, and they gave me some, they sang with me. They probably was thinking, does it fit or not? Or whatever happened, I joined the choir. Yes, my journey started there. We performed a few places. It was a wonderful experience around London in many churches, quite big audiences. And yes, that was my first touch to that. And then that folk songs and this experience with polyphony brought me to the church. I used to go to church just for the service, Sunday services, but then I went church choir needed some member, and I was asked if I asked, I don't remember, but yeah, I joined Georgian church choir, and that was another big step in my life because I was introduced to this church music, which was different, I must say, but I was totally enchanted, or in a good way, and I was totally absorbed with this music.
Dam
started, learning chants. And then one day, I call it a miracle that we had a new choir leader, Malcha Vepkhvadze. That was truly blessing. Probably many people who listens this podcast know him. I call him a modern knight, like a fighter of chants, Georgian chants. Malchas was remote leader, but he was coming a few times a year to rehearse with the Georgian church choir. And those years were beautiful because we not only rehearse, the chants, the church music, but we would sing lots of folk songs, and you know how big is Malcha's expertise in that field. So he would teach us such a beautiful songs and this togetherness, and we would sing hours and hours. And my husband was like, "When are you going to come back home?" So we would use every minute Malchas was in London. And was supras, of course. Yes, lots of singing and food and drink Georgian wine. That was really good memories. And it still is. Malchas became my teacher, my second teacher. How wonderful is that? Yes.
And you've learnt songs with Malchas in his part of the world, in Guria?
Yes, that was already later on. When I just joined his tour. In wonderful. We traveled around the world and we were singing during 2 weeks. That was the best time of my life, I can say. One of the best times with some Cambridge choir members, Johnny and Kate and Susan. Here I want to mention that how I came to all this together and how the studio happened.
Yes.
Because it's all connected, as we know, Susan, right? So it's all connected because I was teaching Georgian language in a Sunday school, and of course I brought some songs to the children to learn, and I was teaching them. Once I have even a picture. There are 3 children in a picture. I'm teaching them a song. And then when I look at the pictures, they were all our children. I mean, the choir members, children of choir members, church choir members. And I was like, wow, that can be our future. They can be future singers or chanters. And I think that's a spark. That I believe in those moments in life when we define your path, right? So it was like, yes, let's think something about it. And since that moment, I must say, I did not stop thinking about it. By that time, I already had established my own social enterprise, which is Gonieri CIC. It's a community interest company. We help communities with creative learning projects, with intergenerational, bilingual resources. And of course, Georgian community always was in my head. But then it all came together and I just started looking for a place where we could do all this. And again, with the help of some Georgian parents, we found a little studio, community center, I must say, very close to the church. And we hired that studio, and timing was very important. And I said, okay, children, after church service, they can come to, and the Sunday school, they can come to the art studio and continue their Georgian experience. So basically, all Sunday, children would be in a Georgian environment. So that sounded really good for me and for parents, and they knew me, children knew me, so that everything was already settled. It just needed a big spark. And one day, it was 2017, I think. 2017, 18th of October, we had an opening day. I invited parents, children. I showed them that's what we are going to do. And here I need to mention Nino, which is we are doing this together, me and Nino Bazerashvili. She's amazing singer, by the way. She's virtuous singer of Georgian city songs, and she was grown up singing in families. And she had all these dreams also, what I had. We just sat together and of course she believed in me, not of course, but she believed in me because she trusted me. And then we started it together. She gave her time and energy. And here we go. It was quite a success. So Nino teaches violin and piano lessons. Then after piano and violin lessons, they come to folk music singing class. And after that, there was a Georgian theatre class. And after that, a Georgian dance class.
Oh my gosh. Sounds like heaven. Can I join?
I know. We would finish 7:00 in the evening and nobody wanted to go home.
Wow.
Parents, it was a total community spirit. So I know a lot about communities that time already because I ran puppet projects in my local community in Hackney. I'm a self-taught puppeteer. Well, I did some, courses also in the Little Angel Theatre. I work with them as a volunteer very often. There's a beautiful, beautiful theatre in North London. We've seen all the performances for last, 5 years. They've done they run lots of community teacher courses. And I'm taking all of them. So that time I had this community spirit. I know what is what makes it work. And it all worked out. Yes. And we did many projects, like we did combined concerts with the Georgian dance group Shairebi, as you remember, and Maspindzeli, of course, always was there to support us. And I can't say how grateful I feel about Bernard, about you, Susan, about people coming from different places of England to London just to perform with us. It wouldn't happen without you, I must say, because, of course, singing voices with children, it's not an easy thing. And the youngest one was 5 years old. So it was very ambitious project, to be honest. Some people were skeptic about voices and such a young children, but I'm so proud of these children who started there that time. Now they are 9, 10. And the one was 4, maybe it's not, it's been how many years? 4 years, yes. Mm-hmm. So, and now the polyphony for them, it's very, very familiar thing. And I have children who can find bass themselves in this, the drone bass, and this ostinato bass is not a problem for them at all.
Oh, that's great. And who are the children that come to you, Tamara? Are they have Georgian parents, or they have British parents?
Mostly they are Georgian or mixed families. So one parent is Georgian and one from another ethnic group or another nation, like my son. Because my son was the biggest inspiration, to be honest. Of course, all together. But yeah, my son was the biggest inspiration because he was, I don't think he was singing before studio. He was listening to how I was singing, but I never tried to, I don't know. Yeah, probably yes. That was time that my son started singing. And thanks God, he has this very powerful voice. If you remember that he performed Tangala da Gogona on the stage, Katie Melua's festival, my husband said, somebody asked me, who's that? Whose voice is that? He's half Estonian, I must say. But Estonian is actually, Estonia is called the singing nation, which is another subject. And then it was 2017 springtime when Liana Gikia, again from the First Georgian Supplementary School in London, the name is that, called me and said, do you know Katie Melua, a singer Georgian British singer? I said, of course I know. Would you teach Katie's songs to children in your studio, or come to my school and teach children in my school? And I said, of course. I said yes, yes. And then that was another step where we started to learn Katie Melua songs, beautiful songs. Children loved it, and they were very motivated because they've heard or they've seen Katie. On a YouTube or some music they listened. And then we thought, okay, that's beautiful songs, but can we do the second part where we can really show our culture? And that was that was the idea how was born the Summer Song Festival. I said to Liana, I will teach them a Georgian song. I will teach them Katie's song, but we also will sing the Georgian songs, folk songs. And of course, Liana said, that's a wonderful idea. So we did all the festivals. It was 3 years in a row, 2017, 18, and 19. It was 2 parts concerts, as you remember. I think you've been on all of them, Susan.
I think so.
It was... the one part would be Katie's repertoire, and another part would be Georgian folk songs and dances. So that was another great experience for us, and also, motivation. And parents were more interested. I can say that, that's a big celebrity, and the project really worked out. And I'm so happy that it made a good it was beneficial for everybody, even for Katie. I was listening her interview, actually, in which she gave to Lauren. Is that a TV program, British TV, I think, breakfast program, Lauren? And she mentions about school and our festival, and she says that we were inspiration to bring out those old songs, the well-known songs. And she released all this new hit album because of, she nicely, beautifully talks about our children, how they made her look at her songs completely from different angle.
Yes. Because
she mentions that they were singing their heart out. And she was very inspired. And we were so happy that on the last festival, 2019, Katie when usually Katie would rehearse just before concert with our children. And Susan, you've been part of that hectic, crazy environment, lots of adrenaline and nerves. Katie would come just before 1 hour before the concert. We could rehearse, and then that was it. But in 2019, she found the time to come to the rehearsal, and there was a time when we already had song in 3 voices. It was Tangala da Gogona, which is Cafetian song. And I remember her face sitting and just watching us, mesmerized with these children singing in 3 voices. And probably it's really moved her. And we taught her one Georgian song. That was a city song, Chongursi maybe Gavupi. Yes, and she performed with our children, yes. And children were so excited. They were teaching a Katie song, and she's very good with children, I must say. She's really warm, and and she actually had some kind of questions and answer session with them. They would ask questions, and then Katie approached me and said, "Do you want me to play live music on your concert for children? I mean, for my songs?" Because before that, we would sing on a cover, recorded cover. And I was like, "Of course we want." So we had a child. I think it was 15 songs of Katie's repertoire. In that day, it was a very long day. She spent a whole day with us. And yes, she played the guitar, and children were singing. People sometimes don't believe that happened. Like,
oh no, that happened. I remember that happening, but I had no idea how that came about.
She was very supportive, and children had a great experience. Yes, that was a success. Every year, I wanted to do something new about the festival. I was a music director, I must say. My position was so I was totally. I could do whatever I want. I said, okay, let's put West and East part Georgia, and let's sing one song from every part of Georgia. So we would start with Imereti. Remember this Imeruri Satrapialo? We sang with Anano. Chemistana tachagruli durmeka harba chahwala sahwar elma mihalata tamaktia tamanela. And this season was, and the Maspindzeli was bass, yes. And Anano and I was the middle and top.
Slowly coming.
Do you have recordings of that?
Yes, actually, it is on our Facebook page. Maybe,
oh, okay.
Yes,
Gonieri.
it is.
Yeah, well, it'd be great to have those recordings. So the art studio is in London, but you are in Georgia now.
Yes.
And is it still going? What's going on?
Yes. When I think here is to mention that now I'm in Georgia, right? So not to confuse people, I moved to Georgia 2 years ago. No, 1.5 years ago, for 1 year. But it's been the second year. And that was amazing change for us. We came here for Georgi, my son, to absorb more Georgian language and all the culture. And luckily, there was teachers who replaced me there in my studio before all this pandemic started. So 1 year, Guranda, my friend, was leading a song part of the art studio. And actually, Guranda was the choir leader in church. So she was teaching me church songs. There was a time. And she's wonderful with teachers, with children. So it was good. Actually, they didn't miss me, I think, very much. But then this pandemic happened. And I don't know, I want to be positive about it. Only one positive side, that now I'm involved in the studio works, because I'm teaching now from here, from London, online. Of course, not many children joining, because some cannot sing or involve themselves in a online singing. But the good point is that children who wouldn't consider otherwise or live far away from North London, they joined, and we are working from
And a couple of weeks ago, before it locked down more strongly here in Georgia, I bumped into you and you said, "Oh yes, I'm going to a rehearsal of Amer-Imeri, and then later I will teach." And I didn't really quite understand.
Yes. Amer-Imeri is, I don't know where to start, but I would start where was my first touch to Amer-Imeri, I could say. I always knew about Edisha from Tamta, from Maspindzeli, about Gigi. And I remember Amer-Imeri only once when they were fundraising for Poland, and I was like supporting them. Oh, I wish they can go there to perform. And then after that, when I came to Georgia, of course, I went to find out how is Amer-Imeri going. And I met Magda, and I said, my son, 7 years old, Georgi was that time, wants to be part of Amer-Imeri, and I introduced myself, and Magda understand who I am. She knew Tamta, and I asked nicely, can I attend also the classes as the parent, and because I'm a teacher too, and I will learn so much from you. And she nicely agreed. Yes. So I was only the parent. Probably she explained later to other parents that I was kind of not volunteer, but kind of learning from them. So that was beginning of, I would say, a new. How can I say?
A new chapter?
New chapter. That's it.
And probably the perfect time to stop recording just for a moment, because your husband is ringing you, which means he's trying to find where we are with Georgi.
Hello, it's Susan here with a gratitude spot. Thank you for listening today, and thanks to all our generous supporters for helping cover the costs of making this podcast. We hope our monthly Ko-fi supporters have found the extra recordings at kofi.com/Voices of the Ancestors. There's the full uninterrupted episode with Joan Mills and the extended episode with Nino Nanaishvili, available on Ko-fi if you sign up and buy us a coffee once a month. If you'd like to help out, go to the podcast website www.voicesoftheancestors.co.uk and click on the Ko-fi cups. If you'd like to help out, but buying a coffee isn't possible for you right now, tell some friends about the show. Your word-of-mouth recommendation is really valuable. So thanks again, everyone. And now, back to the podcast.
Hello, Georgi.
Hey,
Could you introduce yourself for us?
I'm 8 years old.
You're already 9, Georgi. Yeah, and what you are going to do for us today?
Play 2 or 3 songs.
On which instrument?
2 on Chuniri, 2 on Panduri.
So, Georgi, how long have you been playing the Chuniri for?
Not really long.
Really?
Yeah, I started a few months ago.
Who is your teacher?
No, really? Doesn't sound that way. Sounds like you've been playing for years.
His teacher is beautiful Natia Zarashvili. it's really good moment here to talk about how I see parent-child relationship and all this family ensemble approach in Georgian culture, and how important finding is for me that that's where we should hold on, and that's how we should be passed down our treasure already from our ancestors. And your project, Girls, Voices of Ancestors, are such a good name for it, because somehow those songs came to us through centuries. And I think we are on a mission here to pass down it to the next generation. And I think here is a good moment to mention that your latest podcast with John Mill, I was totally mesmerized about the things she talked about. And at the end, I had tears too, Susan, with you. and all these metaphors she used for ash and flame was just completely touching me, because yes, ash, understand that's a past, that's an ancestors, but we need a flame, we need a tradition, innovation. She mentioned we need to do to carry on and pass down to the generations, and how beautifully she says that we Georgian songs and culture and polyphony has this power of togetherness, of how it helps to theatre for young people to communicate and to feel a whole. And that's actually was a new fun. Thank you for that interview, and I hope one day I can meet John, because I did some theatre as well, and they're gonna be young people soon, and this is powerful too for Georgian or not Georgian or young people to use this heritage, Georgian polyphony, in the theatre experience. So that's going to be my new thing to find out and think about. So thank you for that, Susan. And then I was listening also Zoe mentioning the family ensemble. And I want to tell about family ensemble. That's actually that already. I have few projects about that already have done. I had one song. We designed one city song, and there was 4 generations in one song. So it was Darejani, who was a grandmother. Then it was me, 43 years old mother, and it was 5 years. It was a teenager on a guitar, and it was 5 years old talented Mariami. And we all performed together Chemotsitsi Natela on a very serious event. That was the 100 years anniversary of Georgian Independence Day, where ambassador of that time, Georgian ambassador Tamara Vepkhvadze kindly invited us to perform. And it was a serious event with diplomats from around the world. And we sang that song. And I understand that there was more very important people, and I've heard about Alan Duncan, and I've seen him standing next to the ambassador, some important person, but I didn't know who it was. And when we performed Chemotsitsi Natela, and he approached me and said, "Can I take a picture with you, all this set?" We were wearing Georgian traditional clothes. And I said, "We need to sing one more song." And he said, "Okay, yes, but I'm going later, so I need a picture with you." And later on, I found out that it was the state minister of England and Americas in the United Kingdom. And that photo definitely will go to the history for me, because that was a great experience. And this family ensemble, then I brought parents to this, my students' parents were joining, and we had this family ensemble. And all this comes together because why I mentioned here, because me and Georgi, it's what we share right now. We sing lullabies, right, Georgi, before sleep?
Not really.
Not really? We don't sing? that the parent-child relationship is so important for child's characteristics, because all these ethnic, cultural, and spiritual roots can be basement to build a relationship with your child and be a model and be a teacher. And I think that's actually where my work, social work and social projects focus on. And Georgian singing is just a beautiful tool for this. And I really encourage this. Yes.
Well, I love hearing from you, Tamara, but I'd really love to hear from Georgi, because you are not an adult, you are not a grown-up.
No.
And I have never heard from a child what singing Georgian folk song, how does it feel? What's it like?
It sounds really beautiful when you put it all together. One voice on its own is not the best, but when it's all together, it's really beautiful.
And how has it been learning with Amer-Imeri?
It was brilliant. They're really nice teachers, and they know so much stuff, and they have so much shonguris and panduris.
It's full of instruments. When he goes to the class, he just watched the instruments. And I think that's where he first time said, "Can you buy me a panduri? Can you buy me?" So we bought panduri, and then we moved to chunguri. And do you remember what was your first Georgian polyphonic song in our studio? Remember?
That one. It was from Amer-Imeri.
Yeah, can I tell you the story about this song? Because when I started and I was new and teaching polyphony to young children, I contacted Nino Naninei, friend of ours, from Ialoni, Nino, and I said, Nino, please tell me songs that I can teach such a young audience, young students. And she said, oh, there is one beautiful song. She had the children choir that time, actually. She was teaching very young. It's Datos per Huli. It's really nice. There is a syncretism in it. It's a round dance. It's a role play. And I said, okay, I'll go. I'll find it on the YouTube. So I typed on the YouTube Datos per Huli, and the Amer-Imeri jumped out. The Amer-Imeri performs that on the stage, and it's a beautiful. And then that's what our first song was. Can you see these connections? Then I saw how this role play. I don't know if you've seen this song, how they perform it. It's about bear, right? Dato is a name, but Datu is a bear, and it's a bear. It's a humoristic song. So children play roles. So bear is in the middle of the round dance, and then they talk to the bear. They say, "Oh, bear likes this, bear like that." It's too quiet song, and then bear gets married. And he gets married with a beautiful girl. The bear puts the scarf on her, and it's all on the stage happening during the singing, and they just love it. And then the wife gets sick, and then the song says, let that wife go, marry another one. And then he marries, he puts the scarf on another one, and they have swords. And Georgi was very excited with the chocha performing in a sword when a wedding, and when the bride and the bear go to. So that was first understanding for me how much power all this children folk make, and this Amer-Imeri experience. And yes, Georgi really likes Amer-Imeri, and I always tell the story about Ilya, because Ilya Garakanidze is in the same group as Georgi. You want to say something about Ilya? He's so nice.
He's really humorous, and he really knows folk music.
Yeah.
And he's really humorous about the songs. It's like...
Yes. Children folk, that was because there are lots of songs, but even very expertise teachers were lost when I asked them, what songs should I teach my young children, and they were all because, and now it all makes sense, because these are simple songs, right? What Amer-Imeri teaches, and what's I think later on I found out what's basement of all this Karahanidzhe family approach to the children folk and to the polyphony music upbringing. Susan, we are trying to translate this paper of Edisher, and it all makes sense because we don't want them to perform perfect. We want something truly simple, which does not need, we need simple musicality, and with even weak musicality of the child can be approached, and they can just love. I have now students, I mean, they just young and they just love to sing in one voice, and then whoever can sing the bass, drawing bass, then they do the bass, but they still enjoy to do this, and this role play is amazing. And when we are in Amer-Imeri, Georgi, you would agree with me, the second part is always games. So this is Rusudan Chamgeliani, I need to mention, who brings these games on Amer-Imeri.
But it's not always games. He sometimes has histories.
Yes, she tells us stories, how the song was born, some Georgian mythology and all this. And Amer-Imeri is, there is some kind of magic happening there. It travels time. I'm traveling in time.
Yes.
When I'm in Amer-Imeri lessons, every single lesson I attend as a parent and as a learning teacher, I travel. I have a feeling that I'm in the 17th century somewhere in Guria or in Mereti or in Samegrelo, and I don't want to come out. I don't want to open the door, even though it's a beautiful blue monastery in front of us where Magda teaches Amer-Imeri, and it's the right thing to do, Susan. As we were going through this, how this musical upbringing and. It's not about performing children or stick policy and all this, because it needs to be done with the love and with the, how can I say, family feeling.
Yes. Can I please say something? I remember she tried to bring me into another school, but every time once somebody did a little mistake, he would slam the piano and say, "No, it's
How many lessons did you go there?
One, but when I was even new, he would slam the key.
And Georgi came out and said, "No, I'm not going to go to that class," because it was too close to our home. I said, "Okay, let's check it out." And yes, and he goes in Amer-Imeri with very big joy, and we miss Amer-Imeri so much. I think because of these pandemics, the classes were interrupted. But and I learn songs there, and I go to and teach my children in London. So that song straight away in a time traveled to London from Magda to London next day. So basically on Tuesday, Georgi goes to Amer-Imeri, and on Sunday I teach them to my children.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, online.
And will you tell Holly the tale? Little girl traveling in the car with her parents singing away.
Oh, that story. Lisa. Oh, Lisa is beautiful. She's youngest at the moment. I'm teaching. She's in my studio. We're online studio, and she loves singing. And we taught her the song from which we learned from Amer-Imeri. It's Ardanina, a Charian song. And then. And her parent posted a Facebook post, and it's quite old song. And she sits in the back seat of the car and she sings Ardani nai nai na, Ardani nai nai na, Ardani nai nai na, Ardani nai nai na. And the comments on Facebook was like, where did she get that song from? Because they know these popular songs, like the songs on the stage, but they never lots of questions like in the comments, and I was so proud and touched that that's an our ancestor song.
What does Voices of the Ancestors mean to you?
So what does Voices of the Ancestors mean to you?
Georgi, what is... Do you know who is your ancestor?
No.
Do you know meaning of ancestor, Georgi?
Half yes, half no.
So tell me what you know, what does ancestor mean?
It's an old person related to you.
Yes. So your grandmother or grandfather or great-grandfather, grand-grandfather would be your ancestors. So, you know, that songs our ancestors were singing, right? That's
They're not related to us, you can say.
Who?
I mean...
No, my grandmother was singing. Actually, my grandmother was a good singer, apparently.
Wow.
I'm from Emereti. My mom is from Emereti too. And actually, she was in a state ensemble playing the guitar before she got married and had 5 children. Then she abandoned, of course. Yes, but probably I can when my aunties see me, she says, "Oh, you're like your grandmother." And my another grandmother loved singing and panduri. She was from mountains, and I think
Which panduri, classic or
probably traditional, Georgi, most probably. Yes. So for me, Voices of Ancestors mean exactly this traveling to time and ash and flame. So I just reflect on other episodes because they all make sense. And a bridge, what's mentioned by Magda, yes. So these songs are building bridges. They are connecting future and past.
Waxing Konatizeli, Agada Twabi, Ashionini, Ragai, Gogobi, Harsage, Netiashioda. And they also taught us how to come up with words.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Magda taught us how to write this Shairebi. You know what Shairebi is, right?
Yeah.
It's jokes. It's jokes just in songs.
So it's 8 syllables.
Syllables?
Yeah, on a Charian Shairebi.
So
now I brought in my studio. I wrote about every member of my studio, children, a
Even
little
me.
humoristic one.
Even me.
And they're singing about each other. This humoristic. Georgis was Kiarguna Isetkeba Pechis Rebezegio Eman Agdga Mofirade Argo Iprio Trio. So that says that he's standing on his toes.
Not toes, it's
toes when he does
like
it. Be careful, don't break your nose and stuff like that. And usually how the Magda taught us how to do it musically. It's 8 syllables. So ta 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 ta. And as soon as you know the rhyme, the last thing, it works.
Yeah.
And children just loved it because I had the impromptu. They had the wearing a nice dresses, the princess frozen dresses, and I was like, Ioanata Sofia Rogort Elzada Anao Frozen Idan Gad Mochten Tau Gargan Daganao Na 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 ni na na ni na ni nao Na 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 ni na na ni na ni nao Jonathan sa ise uqars kubik bioda autsi lebelat gamova didi businessmeni yoda na 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 ni na na ni na ni na o na 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 ni na na ni na ni na o Lisa skaba isep trinaus rogors da dida gogo arta ke skaba Rapunzeli sisaoda na na ni na na ni na ni na o na
sounded very cross-cultural to me as well.
I know, because every time
wonderful.
on a class, they come with a different princess dress, and I was like, wow. Sometimes I try to dress interesting as well, because they always are so interestingly dressed with the princess. So yeah,
Do you know there's this
actually cousins. They live in the same house, so one is on their computer on the first floor, and another cousin is on the second floor. And I'm teaching, and they're learning together, and then they go and because it's a singing family as well,
Wow.
and the parents and the grandmother is just so happy. They all day long they're singing a Georgian song.
Oh.
Susan, do you remember when Magda told us the story about the Shairebi and how Edisha taught them about this on a trip to the mountains? When things went a little bit awry the night before.
You might be
I think we even have a recording of Magda telling this story. We'll have to find it somewhere.
So we were in Batumi,
Yeah.
and we were on the beach, and we were with Magda, Magda's mum, and with Ilya.
Okay.
And she was remembering that when she was a child with
Magda. Okay.
Edisha took Amer-Imeri on a field trip, really, into the mountains, into Majara, and they were there and doing, like you say, teaching about how to learn is it Shairebi? Shairebi.
Shairi is a single word, and Shairebi plural.
Okay. And I think they were actually probably giving a performance, perhaps in a village or somewhere. And I think she may have been quite cheeky as a young girl, because I think she came up with a rhyme in the moment about Edisha.
So we make this sort of poem for Edisha. Really bachmelia zekas panduri verande o dres lektiat abi kitche gamos sore bazeo tavsu shwele gaem gzaure Germanias maleo then Edishero hey. So the translation was such that your son is drunk, so you can't give the panduri to him because it is. You don't know what happened. Today you gave us you spoke with us that we have to go to become better persons. Because we make some bad things. We make children.
Yes.
So and then the last sentence was Tausu Shrele, be healthy and go to the Germany. That period.
He was in Germany sometimes.
Germany, he has studied
Okay,
there.
yeah.
So Tausu Shrele, gaim zaure Germania is maleo. And he thought a little, started for maybe 1 minute, not more, and then said, on stage.
Yes.
He didn't know that we have the poem for him.
Yeah.
Thought a little, and then. Sakmeganam panduris gakurachama kurashia zrdilo badagvitsqebiat ai sakmerashia quia undavitse taushit tiana charashia. See, very good poem, and there was it is no matter how I can play on panduri right side or wrong side. It is very bad things that you don't know the elder person and the young and children, and spoke with me like I'm your age, and I have to kill myself by the gun on the mountain in Najara.
That's what I just.
That was his response.
On stage.
Wow.
He said a little.
Yes.
And said answer to, and I was there.
Yes.
I spoke the first one.
And he
the
spoke
answer
it back.
was to me.
Wow.
Actually, today, Georgi, he was asking how people can do this impromptu.
Yeah.
I said, no, I don't do impromptu. All those Shairebi that I sang today, it took me 15 minutes, but I still need to, rhyme. But I'm sure I just.
Not exactly 15.
So how
You were
many?
quite quick.
Like half an hour.
Okay. Yeah, because I had so many children to write about.
But I think if you're doing it regularly, because I think in Amer-Imeri, if you keep practicing, you become. It's a bit like people do rap. It's a similar idea, I think, where people practice their rhymes.
Totally makes experience very cheerful and playful, and when especially online teaching, you need to put the spirits up. And every time I try to bring something really, up spiritual, to bring the spirit up and to the energy up, and they straight away go like, yes, about dress. They adjust their dresses because they are thinking about their dresses. And then now I taught them how to. I gave them a homework. Okay, now with your parents' help, because they're very young.
Not everybody.
You can write your Shairebi, and with the parent, and they came back with such a nice Shairebi next time. Again to the teachers and to the my lucky stars, because we were looking for a house in Kakheti for summer, just a holiday home, and I found this like homestay. It calls Katie's house in Kakheti, Shilda, Bareli. And then we arrived and I said, okay, I'm going to stay this home. And he had no idea about Panduri. He never played Panduri. We didn't have any Panduri. So we called, and there was Katie's husband, probably Holly, if her brother is your friend. He's
called Bachani.
His name is Bachana. And he teaches children Panduri, and he's a very good singer of Shilda, ensemble Shilda. And in 1 week, he learned how to play Panduri. It was an active holiday. He was learning 2 hours a day from Bachana.
2 hours a day.
And that song Bachana taught us. And it's Shairebi as well, actually. It's Kahur Shairebi, and they are quite sharp, not like Acharian. Acharian is West, more like sweet words. But in Kakheti, if you know how they are very direct and sharp, and the words are so funny. It's like can you imagine a boy is singing to a girl who likes, but he doesn't say you are beautiful or something. He says your nose is so big that it will be good as a bridge in one bridge in Kakheti. And then he says, how is this? And yes, it's very humoristic. Yes, that's beautiful. Actually, is from Shilda.
I know, Tamara.
So yes, that our Georgian experience is amazing. How Chonguri as well. Natia said, "Okay, come on, I will teach him the Chonguri." And
you said that he will teach you, but somehow.
Yeah. I went to Natia, learned Chonguri, and I don't know why I took you. I don't know. Probably he was interested too. And I didn't learn Chonguri at all. But yeah.
I really
favorite instrument of yours.
Yeah. Next I want to really learn Chuniri.
Next is Chuniri, yeah.
And then it's Changi, and then so on.
Yep. Great.
Good luck.
Do it.
I just want to again say how lucky I feel to be part of this project, and how yes, and then connections. Sometimes it's makes me feel like so emotional, because yesterday when we were talking about songs, and when you mentioned on that podcast, Susan, that if not John Mill and this book, he wouldn't be singing. And I thought, if not that book, maybe I wouldn't be singing either. You know why? I can tell you how. Because there would be no Maspindzeli, maybe no Tamta. I would never meet Tamta. I would never start singing. My son would never. I mean, it's just all connected, and I think that's the magic of Edisher. I don't know, has or all the things he does that connects nicely all these people around the Georgian polyphony. And thank you for spreading it and for letting other people know about it.
Well, thank you, Tamara, and thank you, Georgi. It's been such a pleasure having you on the podcast. Thank you for listening to Voices of the Ancestors with Holly Taylor-Zuntz and Susan Thompson. Our guest was Tamara Vepkhvadze and her son Georgi. Music was by Katie Melua, Tabuni, Sakhioba, the Chamgeliani sisters, Ialoni, Anano Dadalauri, Maspindzeli, and of course our guests. For more information and to see a transcript of this episode and all our episodes, go to voicesoftheancestors.co.uk.
Turpa Ikavi, גם שנבדיהו, מדרום סירבה רוליסטוויס, כולי ארגמי חיו, מדרום סירבה רוליסטוויס, כולי ארגמי חיו.